Hey, hi, hello. It's Zima. I'm 24. I'm a uni student. I was widowed at 20. I'm diagnosed with BPD, complex PTSD, DID, and ADHD. So as you can guess, my life isn't exactly the easiest. However, I feel like with the pain you feel with BPD, I've learned a lot about life that people just don't get to learn in the same way that I've done. But this video will mainly just be a lore drop video. So I was born here in Denmark. My mother is Danish and my father is Ukrainian, and I don't speak to any of them. And the reason for that is simple. My childhood was not great. It was downright abusive, and I only have my mother to blame for that because my father was not in the picture. My mom made sure of that, and to be quite frank, I don't blame him at all. My mom is downright evil. Having suffered through something as terrible as my childhood has been quite something. I've had to unlearn so many patterns, and in ways I am the cycle breaker in my family. My oldest brother has done the same. I'm glad I have him. I really am. So my family isn't all bad. However, my mom, damn, she had to go. So I cut her off when I was 22, I think. I will say I was not really talking to her as much as a son should have or normally would. And I think part of growing up with a family like mine is that I've gotten to see some of the best of humanity and some of the most evil, malicious, and cruel, downright cruel sides to humanity. And it should go without saying that I'm just figuring life out just like you. I'm nothing special. I wouldn't say that I'm different than most people. However, I've lived a life that has meant I've gained wisdom in a pretty damn short amount of time. Especially being widowed at 20, I think that has been the biggest source of pain in my life. I finally made it out of my hometown. I finally was at a place where I was happy and I had escaped home. And I had it all ripped away from me. And to succeed and have everything ripped away from you in such a short amount of time, from being 18 and meeting my late partner to escaping pretty much and having to go back to my hometown again just due to how difficult the grief was, has meant that I've kind of risen and fallen, and that has been the trend in my life. I'm always on the verge of falling. However, the thing with BPD is it gives you a kind of stubbornness if you want to live. And so I'm not gonna lie, from age 20 till 22, 23, I was miserable. I truly was. And I didn't just lose my partner, I also lost a lot of friends that I had to bury, namely my best friend, which only happened 6 months after basically my late partner died in March of 2021. My best friend died in October of 2021. And I lost other people in between that time too, which I've gone over in a previous video. But fundamentally, at my core, I feel too much and I think a little bit too much. However, I've kind of taken my BPD diagnosis, even though it's claimed to be the most mentally painful disorder to have. I've kind of seen it as a blessing, finally, just due to how much more pain I feel than the average person. However, the opposite is also true. My positive emotions shine through like you wouldn't believe when I'm surrounded by good people and in good company. And honestly, I'm so lucky to have the people in my life that I have now. And so the journey from point A to point B has been long. It has been difficult. It has taken everything from me, from my being, to overcome BPD and complex PTSD and the rest of them basically. The reasons as to why I developed BPD in the first place can be traced back to my childhood very clearly. And certain people in my family simply did not validate me, in my experience growing up. And that is something else entirely. Growing up being met with hatred from your own goddamn parent and having to find your way through life with someone who fundamentally turned everything into some malicious act. Basically it means that I've had to find my own way. And so I haven't had the typical life path: grow up, have a decently happy childhood, go to school, go to uni, da 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 da, get a 9 to 5. No, that's why I'm 24 and I'm just now studying on my, what is it, third semester? Because I had a hiccup, you know, losing my partner back in 2021 when I was supposed to go to law school. Definitely changed the trajectory of my life in so many ways. You know, I was the happiest I'd ever been during that period of time. And yeah, losing that one person and then losing my best friend, it fucked me up. It fucked me up real bad. You know, as if it wasn't bad enough to have these diagnoses, I also had to face them alone all of a sudden. Basically, I've gotten to a point in my life where I want to live, where I have so many things to look forward to, where even when the bad days are bad, I can find my way out. And the only reason I've been able to do that is because I'm willing to walk the abyss. And the reason I've learned to walk the abyss was out of necessity. You know, I was depressed, anxious, suicidal, you can name it. I was dealing with it in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. And it took a lot of work. And I was into psychiatry for 2 years straight in an outpatient program. I've been to psych wards. I've seen a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have. I've experienced a lot of stuff that no ordinary human should see or experience in their lifetime. But the only way through is through. You know, you don't get over shit, you only learn to walk with it. The pain, the sorrows of life, the happy memories of life you can still keep intact, even though you're going through grief like I was. And so, to sum up who I am as a person, I'm someone who's faced way more pain and difficulties than the usual. However, I still find a way to act righteous, to act like a good man. I don't mean act, but like, I have a certain code I want to live by. And it is to be righteous, it is to be a good man, it is to be a good husband to my now coming wife, which is a different thing altogether. I'm almost 2 years into my relationship now at this point, which is crazy to think about. I've met the absolute most beautiful soul that I didn't think would happen again, you know. Being widowed is a bit different than breaking up with someone. I've had to come to terms with loving someone again, letting someone close like that again, in a different way than most people do. And I've learned so much about myself, about life, about what I want to do in this life too. And I'm kind of geeked to be able to say all these things. My life is going tremendously well at this point. And even if it takes a turn for the worse at some point, if I end up becoming more mentally ill than I am currently, I have the tools now. I have the tools to live on and carry on like I usually do, and that has come from years of trials and tribulations. So I think my pain was a teacher in my life. It was probably the biggest teacher I could have ever asked for, and it was painful, yeah. However, being able to look at my life now, what I've built, what I've accomplished, what I've been fortunate enough to be blessed with, is phenomenal. And it doesn't come without its trials too. You know, having a good life and being a good man is not easy. It has meant that I needed to change my life in ways that are hard to describe. You know, overcoming the 9 traits of BPD is a handful in and of itself. Doing that all alone by yourself is another very difficult task. However, with the continued efforts and faith I had in myself and stubbornness when I didn't want to live on, and just doing it anyways and continuing to try. Like, there's an art to living when you've lost the will to live that I think I know very, very, very well on an intrinsic level. And I want to share that. I'm just a kid, honestly, in many ways, you know. I didn't get to have a childhood. So now that I'm free, now that I'm an adult, I get to enjoy my hobbies, to be quite frank. I enjoy woodworking, I enjoy renovating stuff, I enjoy taking scraps and turning them into gold, basically. And I've done a lot of that. I've renovated the kitchen we have in this apartment. You can look at it this way. Take a happy 20-year-old who has a partner, who has a stable life, and then has everything ripped away from him and has to go back to the dark place he used to be in, and then him clawing his way out and finding the beauty in life again. That is me. That is who I am. And I suffer from a lack of identity too. My sense of self is very unstable. Which means even me just repeating this right now and being able to say these things kind of makes me proud. And I guess I have a bit of imposter syndrome because I still can't believe that this is the life I've been blessed with. Like, it's so cool. I kind of want to be the helping hand, the relatable person that people can go to when they're in need, because I've faced stuff that most people haven't. I have people that open up to me about very horrible things that have happened to them, and I guess I'm just, on a personal level, a safe person to most people, which is a good trait that I do have. And I hope it translates to making videos too. I won't say I'm perfect, I'm far from it. I'm a bit Looney Tunes. I'm a bit of a loony bin at times, but I think the differentiating factor between me and the abusive parent that I did have in my life is the fact that I'm actually taking the steps to be a good person, and she never did that. She never ever did that. All she wanted to do was spread misery and be malicious in any way she could to regain control of her life. Who could blame her, honestly? She had a shitty life because of her own damn actions, and instead of taking accountability, she threw in the towel and became evil. Is the way I look at it. She was the perfect example of what not to be, honestly. In that way, I've been blessed to already see what you shouldn't do in this life. Even if it came at my own damn expense and the abuse I went through. But at this point, I'm just happy to be my own person. What do you think? What do you think when you're hearing all of this? Let me know what you think about me. Because I'm trying to be as raw and authentic as possible, and I know there's going to be judgment when it comes to this YouTube stuff. Because I have the most unstable sense of self you can imagine. And as I'm laughing, it's not to deflect from it. It's just, at this point, I've just radically accepted who I am. I'm a goofy ass person. Like, I really am. When I'm around the right people, I will be the brightest shining light, but the goofiest. And why wouldn't you be in this life, right? We're all here, we're all going through stuff, and honestly, the fact that I can have a good time despite what bad things have gone on in my life is just a testament to the human spirit. I think we're all capable of getting ourselves out of the dark places that we do have to go through in life. And it isn't easy. Learning to walk the abyss is incredibly difficult, and I'm not gonna lie, it was so painful at times, and I have so much pain in my heart still on things that have happened, but I also have so much love for life, and I can basically see all the beauty in life to an extent that I didn't think was possible a couple of years ago. So this is who I am. I'm Zima. I'm 24. A bit of a character, I guess you could say, and I've gotten pretty confident in my way of living, honestly. So I guess that's gonna be it. I'm just a person. Honestly. No one to put above, no one, I'm no one to necessarily look to when it comes to having the best answers, but I do have certain wisdom that you might be able to take something away from, and I hope that is the case, because I want to help people when it comes to making these videos. That's the whole point. The whole point is me trying to help people when they're going through stuff I went through, which means it's going to be raw, it's going to be authentic, and it's going to be painful to listen to at times. So I don't blame you if some videos are more difficult to listen to than others. I'm not going to try and make feel good content and not let you face reality, because reality is here and it is now that things are happening in your life. So thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and it's been Zima. Bye now.